Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to topic 10.2, sexual reproduction in plants. We are looking at learning outcome D, differentiate between seeds and fruits, structurally and functionally. We are going to focus on our learning outcome activity. In pairs, learners examine specimens or diagrams of fruits and seeds and discuss and explain verbally or in notes the structure and functional difference between fruits and seeds. Differences between fruits and seeds. Item 1. We are looking at structure and functional. The teacher gives pairs of learners' specimens or diagrams of fruits and seeds. For example, mango fruit with seed, maize grain, bean seed, and tomato fruit. Learners closely observe the external and internal structure of each specimen. Tasks. Identify the key parts of a fruit: the exocarp, mesocarp, and endocarp. So we have our mango fruit, which we are seeing here. The exocarp is this outer layer that we see outside. That outer layer is what we call the exocarp. Then we have this hard layer, which is covering the seed. That cover is what we call the endocarp. And we have this juicy part here that we are seeing of a mango, which is colored yellow. That juicy part is what we refer to as the mesocarp. So those are the parts of the fruit. Identify the key parts of a seed: the seed coat, the embryo, cotyledon, and endosperm. Now we have our seeds here, two seeds. We have the bean seed and we have also the maize seed. Now, we want to look at first the seed coat. The seed coat is that outer layer, the outer layer on the bean. That outer layer is what we are referring to as the seed coat, and it is the same as the outer layer on the maize. That one we'll call it as the seed coat. Then when we come to the embryo is made up of the plumule and the radicle. That is what we call the embryo. That is the embryo for the bean seed. And this part here is the embryo for the corn seed or maize seed. Then we need the cotyledon. The cotyledon is this layer inside for the bean seed. That is the cotyledon surrounding the embryo. Now, when you come to the maize seed, this part here, which is surrounding the embryo, that small area is what we call the cotyledon. Then we have the endosperm. The endosperm is mainly found in maize. That whole part there, all that one is what we refer to as the endosperm. Discuss the differences in structure between fruits and seeds. Want to look at the differences in structure between the fruits and the seeds. We have our table here. We have the future, the fruit, and the seed. The origin. Where do they originate from? This fruit, this develops from the ovary wall after fertilization. Whereas the seed, this develops from the ovule after fertilization. That is their origin. When we come to the main parts of the fruit, we have what we call the pericarp. And the pericarp is made up of the exocarp, the mesocarp, and the endocarp. Whereas when you come to the seed, it has the seed coat, which we call the tester. There is the embryo, there is the cotyledon, and the endosperm. Those are the main parts of the fruit and the seed. Then we have the appearance. How do they look like? A fruit is often fresh. It can also be dry. And it may contain one or multiple seeds. Whereas when you look at the appearance of the seed, they are usually dry and hard, and they contain the embryo. When we come to the content, the fruit contains the edible pulp or fibrous tissue, whereas the content of the seed, it contains stored food in the cotyledon and the endosperm and the embryo. Then we have the position. For the fruit, this surrounds or encloses the seeds. So the seeds are inside, the fruit is outside. Whereas if you look at the position of the seed, these ones are found inside the fruit, except in grains where the fruit and the seed are fused. Now let us discuss the functional differences. What each structure helps the plant achieve. We look now at the function of the fruit and the seed. We shall start with the main role. The main role of the fruit is to protect seeds and also aid in their dispersal. Whereas the main role of the seed is to germinate so that it produces a new plant. Those are functional differences, main role. When it comes to protection, the pericarp, which includes the mesocarp, exocarp, and endocarp, all these ones, they protect seeds from damage. Whereas if you talk about protection in the seed, we have the tester, which protects the embryo from injury, drying, and infection. Then we come to dispersal. The fruit may be adapted for wind, animal, water, or explosion in terms of dispersal. Whereas in terms of dispersal, the seed, some of the seeds have special structures like wings or hooks, and these ones are the ones that help them in dispersal. When we come to nutrition, you find that the fruit provide attractive food for the animals to enhance dispersal. Whereas the seed, this one stores food in the cotyledon and endosperm for the seedling during germination. Then lastly, we come to development. Function of the fruit in terms of development, the fruit shows maturity of the ovary, signals seed readiness, that is the fruit. Whereas the seed, this contains genetic material to continue the life cycle. That is in terms of development. Let's now look at present a brief verbal explanation to the class. From our findings, we need to present a brief verbal explanation. Now, a fruit, this develops from the ovary wall, and it mainly helps to protect and disperse seeds. Whereas the seed, it develops from the ovule, and it contains the embryo that grows into a new plant. The fruit usually has or have three layers. We have the exocarp, mesocarp, and the endocarp. Whereas the seed, they have the seed coat, the cotyledons, and can be having also the endosperm and the embryo. Therefore, the fruits help in protection and dispersal, while the seed helps in germination and propagation of the species. Differences between fruits and seeds. Item 2. Structure and function. The teacher brings oranges, beans, tomatoes, mangoes, maize grains, and avocados. Learners work in pairs to cut open the fruits and examine both the fruit wall and the seeds inside. Tasks. Observe the provided specimen and identify the fruit and the seeds inside. A fruit is the mature ovary of a flower, and a seed is the mature ovule found inside a fruit. Examples. Tomato, a fruit, contains several seeds. The bean pod, which is a fruit, contains bean seeds. The maize grain, which is a seed, enclosed in a dry fruit, caryopsis. Describe the structure differences between fruits and seeds. Let's start with the fruit structure. Derived from the ovary wall, and this forms the pericarp. May be fleshy or dry. May contain one or several seeds. When you look at the structures that we have here, this is a fruit, which is a tomato fruit. We say it is formed from the ovary wall. All this one that we see was originally the ovary wall. And it forms the pericarp. Pericarp is made up of three layers. The outer layer, this outer layer, which we call the exocarp. And then we have this middle layer here, which we call the mesocarp. mesocarp, that middle layer there. And then we have the inner layer, the inner layer inside here, which we call the endocarp. So that is the fruit. And we say that it may be fresh, like the way you are seeing it here, or it may be dry. It may contain one or several seeds. Those small ones, the white ones that we are seeing there, are the seeds, and they are very many. The pericarp differentiates into the epicarp, the mesocarp, and endocarp in many fruits, like the way we have said. Our pericarp is made up of 3 layers. We have the outer layer. That outer layer is what we are calling the epicarp. And then we have the middle layer, that middle layer that you are seeing. That middle fresh layer is what we are calling the mesocarp. And then the inner part here, this inner part, is what we are calling the endocarp. Variable external appearance in terms of color, texture, and smell. So they will appear differently externally in terms of color, texture, and also the smell. It is now the seed. We are looking at the structure now of the seed. The seed is derived from the ovule after fertilization. It is enclosed in a seed coat, what we call the tester. And it contains the embryo, or what we call the future plant. So here we have our seeds. And these seeds are formed from the ovule after fertilization. The outer layer of the seed, is what we refer to as the seed coat. That outer layer is what we call the seed coat. And then we say it contains the embryo, which is the future plant. The embryo is that part which will turn into a plumule and a radicle. That part there is what we call the embryo. It turns into the plumule and the radicle, which becomes the future plant. Still, the seed structure, the endosperm and the cotyledon, these ones are food store. So we have all this area here. That is a cotyledon. And here, this part here, that is a cotyledon. Whereas this area here in the maize seed, that area there, this is an endosperm. and their major work is to store food. The seed is usually hard and resistant. When you try to press the seed, you will see that it is hard and it is resistant. Does not show fleshy outer layer, except in some special seeds like elderberries. So this outer layer of the seed is not fleshy, apart from some few special seeds. But all this outer layer is not fresh. Explain the functional difference between fruits and seeds. Functions of fruits. It protects the seed from drying out or damage. Aids the seed dispersal, either by wind, animals, water, or splitting. It attracts animals through color, taste, and this helps in dispersal. In dry fruit, it helps in mechanical dispersal, that is, bursting and splitting. Let's now look at the functions of seeds. The seed germinates to form a new plant. It stores food to support the early seedling growth, and it protects the embryo with a hard seed coat. It allows plant species to survive harsh conditions through dormancy. Produce a comparison table summarizing the differences. We look at the future, the fruit, and the seed. Origin. The fruit is a mature ovary, whereas the seed is a mature ovule. When it comes to the main parts, the fruit has what we call the pericarp, and this one is made out of the epicarp, mesocarp, and endocarp. Whereas if you look at the seed, it has the tester, the embryo, cotyledons, and endosperm. The number. The fruit usually contains one or more seeds, whereas the seed, it is one per unit ovule. We come to the function. The function of the fruit is to protect and disperse seeds, whereas the function of the seed is germination and perpetuation of species. When you come to food storage, they are mostly in fleshy pericarp, whereas in the seed, the food storage is mainly stored in the cotyledon or the endosperm. When we come to the role in reproduction, the fruit is a dispersal stage, whereas the seed is the new plant formation. Difference between fruits and seeds, item 3. Let's look at diagram interpretation. Learners are given two diagrams. A labeled fruit showing the pericarp layers. A seed showing the embryo, cotyledon, and tester. So we have the structures here. We have the seed, and this one shows the embryo, it shows the tester, and it shows the cotyledon. Then this side we have a fruit. This fruit shows the pericarp layers made up of the epicarp, mesocarp, and endocarp. Tasks. Explain how the structure of the fruit supports its function. It is thick, fleshy. It has got the mesocarp. This one protects the seed and attracts animal. It has got a hard endocarp, which we call the stone fruits. This protects the seed from being eaten. And it has a bright epicarp. This signals ripeness for animal dispersals. Explain how the structure of the seed supports germination. The seed has a tester, which is the outer cover, and this protects the embryo from mechanical damage. Then the seed has a cotyledon. The cotyledon, this one stores starch, oils for germination. Then it has got the embryonic root and shoot, the embryo. This develops into a new plant structure. Embryo is where we have the plumule and the radicle. That's the embryo. Differences between fruits and seeds, item 4. Case studies. Learners are given case studies. Bean seed, which is a dicot. Maize grain, which is a monocot. Tomato fruit and avocado fruit. Tasks. Compare how fruits differ from seeds among the given examples. I would like you to try this one out. We have been doing a lot of differences, so I want you to try this one out. Explain why fruits are necessary even though seeds contain the embryo. They aid dispersal, spreading seeds far from the parent plant. They protect seeds during development. They reduce competition between the parent and offsprings. They increase survival chances by exposing seeds to various dispersal agents. Thank you very much for participating in a topic 10.2, sexual reproduction in plants. We have been looking at learning outcome D. Differentiate between seeds and fruits structurally and functionally. And we have been looking at learning activity. In pairs, learners examine specimens or diagrams of fruits and seeds and discuss and explain, verbally or in notes, the structure and functional differences between fruits and seeds. Please visit me at Mugabi Joshua Biology on YouTube. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe.